Welcome back to The Leak. I'm Holly Mark and I'll be your host for this week. This week we'll be talking about work, working, and working it. The office charity bake sale. It's often the one thing standing between the receptionist's nephew's cricket team getting a new set of groin protectors or a whole year of highly dangerous freeballing. But in the modern remote workplace, the office bake sale has to find a new way forward. The irony is, as more people are learning how to bake bread in lockdown, they cannot share their baked goods for a $2 donation. Offices are turning to another option.
We're doing the Great Office Draw-Off.
Yes, because while you cannot send cake through the internet, and believe me, I've tried, the internet can still send images of all sorts, GIFs, JPEGs, and the occasional PNG, and this time it's not a penis.
I'm sort of the fun one in the office. I organise office birthday parties, I enforce the cleaning roster, I send out the office trivia emails. You know, clean, responsible, and fun.
And so Georgia pioneered the most clean, responsible, fun idea of her working career. An internet bake sale where people draw pictures of baked goods and can download any picture they want for a $2 donation to Beyond Blue.
Here's a picture of a sponge cake. The bakers employed pencil colouring to really enhance the moistness. Here's a picture of a cupcake. Note the similarity to the distill movement. The baker has clearly been influenced by the work of Pierre Mondrian. Here's a picture of a strawberry donut. This one was particularly popular. Is it filled with jam? Dough? That's up to the eye of the beholder.
Of course, not everyone is putting equal effort into the bake sale.
Clearly, this person just brought a picture of a cake from Woolies. And this guy was so bad, it's triggering my gluten intolerance.
And some people tried too much.
And this is mine. I'm sort of an art genius, not to brag. Paul Hollywood once said that I drew the best cake he'd ever seen.
And the office is responding ecstatically.
Huh?
What did you get?
Oh, a picture of a cake or something. I just didn't want to look like a cheapskate.
And it's that spirit of community and generosity that enabled the Working From Home Bake Off Draw Off Charity Morning Tea, a rousing success. The office managed to raise $37 for Beyond Blue, 75 more cents than last year.
So yeah, you can basically thank me for curing depression. You're welcome.
Well, sure, Georgia. Thanks for being on the show. With supermarket workers around the country suffering from the stress of a panic-stricken public over the last 6 months, we spoke to the Nightfield team at Coles in Preston to see how the pandemic has taken its toll.
I took a job at the start of the pandemic so I could play a part, you know, it felt like important work. Nick had already started around the same time as me, but he was managing the whole night shift team.
Oh, Nick is crazy. Like, not just crazy, like crazy.
Nick would come in at the start of his shift and just start screaming.
They don't care about you! They don't care about your family! He was like that drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket.
Look, I know he's the manager and it's his job to get the most out of us, but...
Some of the stuff that he did, man. Honestly.
I started to feel scared to come to work. Then there was one night. It was just after the craziness of people panic buying toilet paper.
He brought in a gun. Where did he get a gun? I've never seen a gun before, ever.
And he held it up to his own head and said...
He said, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of anything. And then he just stood there.
I've been told that I can get quite emotional.
Hi, I'm Stephen Roy, CEO of Unemployment Solution Enterprise Distribution. For the last 3 decades, my company has won several lucrative contracts from the federal government to help this nation's unemployed. It's hard work, but it's immensely rewarding. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. You know, getting a job requires so much more than just filling out applications and saying the right things in interviews. It's about a thing I call wanting itness. That's right. You've got to want the job. Forget about reskilling, forget about qualifications, forget about psychotherapy. It's all about investing your time and energy into just wanting it. To build up on your wantingtonness, you must stock up on these important resources available from our website. Did you know that employees are sick and tired of people just listing their positives and talents on a resume? So to stand out, you should reference the managers who wanted to dropkick you out of a 5th-story window, or the colleagues who always caught you playing Fortnite on your phone when you should have been doing work, or perhaps the person who made a bullying claim against you. Trust me, it'll make you stand out. Employers respect candidates who understand their value in the job market. If you look up the minimum wage, then take 25% off, 50%, and it'll seal the deal. Employers will see that you really want the job. If all else fails, find a government service that hasn't been subcontracted out to private industry. Then lobby your friends in Parliament to turn it back into your business. If it's a service that they have deep ideological objections to, then they won't mind their stakeholders being on an endless cycle of welfare dependency. We shouldn't have that last bit, should we? No, we're going to cut that out. We're going to cut that out. Okay, good. Our advice will keep you coming back for more. That's why at Unemployment Solution Enterprise Distribution, we want you to feel used.
G'day there. Times are tough. Unemployment is higher than ever. It's near impossible to achieve the great Aussie dream of a fair dinkum job. And that's why I'm having a 50% off warehouse sale extravaganza here at Neil's Hunting Warehouse for all your job hunting needs. I've gone mad with job hunting supplies. Resume paper, 50% off. Magnifying glass for the classifieds, down to only $2.99. Job hunting is hard enough without managers giving you the runaround. That's why you need this big net to stop them in their tracks. This rifle to hunt the heads of headhunters. Rope, a bear trap. This whistle sounds exactly like a water cooler. Take the job market and that dog CEO's home by storm. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Anyone who uses Indeed or Seek is an invasive species and deserves to get shot.
Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to The Leak. You remember that weird, uncomfortable feeling you had coming back to school after a few weeks sick at home with chickenpox? Take that feeling, add another 25 years of adult psychological baggage, 6 months of isolation, plus a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and you've got a peek inside the minds of several million Australians returning to work. Fortunately, one business has made a training video to ease workers back into the rat race.
Welcome back to work, employees, and congratulations on joining our brand new company. Serving the local community, our business is all about effective and engaging communication. Part 1 of this 32-part induction video shows you how to successfully navigate your way through stimulating conversations, not just with our clients, but also with one another. You've probably become used to talking to people online for at least 7 months, so first, make sure your speaking volume is adjusted for face-to-face conversation.
Hey mate, how's it going?
No, that's too loud. No, that's too quiet.
Hi, how are you?
Perfect. Now let's get all the COVID stuff out of the way.
What did you do
Did you ever get that? Okay. Oh, sorry, you go first.
Sorry, no, you go.
I was just gonna ask if you ever got it.
Got what?
Yeah. You know,
Oh.
the Rona.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, good. Did you ever get the thing up your nose?
Pardon?
You know, the
Oh, no.
thingy.
I didn't have to get tested, so... You?
Yeah, twice. Actually, not twice, 5 times. And twice for each of those times. One for
Right.
each nostril. I actually kind of
Okay.
enjoyed the tickling after a while.
So... What did you get up to during lockdown?
Nothing, you?
Yeah, nothing much really.
I used so many tissues, like a lot. You should see how many I collected.
Why?
This conversation is going really well. Try and use humour to break the ice.
Come to think of it, I did spend a lot of time walking from the couch to the fridge.
Lol. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats who?
No, that's the joke. It's just Uber Eats at the door.
I don't get it.
When you've run out of things to say, you can talk about the weather.
So, the weather. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's a bit shit today.
I actually quite like it when it's raining.
Remember, our company values are centred around being hospitable and making people feel welcome.
Want to go to the pub later?
Yeah, sure.
Sick!
Just like everyone else, our communication skills have been impacted by you know what. But we'll do our best to help you and our clients communicate more better. Sorry, I mean much better.
Our government wants to get as many people off welfare as possible. So if you're already on it or you think you'll need it soon, what's an Aussie to do? Well, tonight we've brought together a focus group to discuss what you can be doing to keep the job you have, or if you don't have a job right now, what you can do to create some out of thin air. Joining us tonight is Melbourne delivery driver Sam, cybersecurity worker Elliot, and thin air expert Trina. Welcome everyone. Sam, let's start with you. You're a delivery driver and you found a way to ensure your employer is giving you enough hours to earn a living wage. How extraordinary. Tell us about that.
Hi, Jenny. Yeah, so I'm paid for the hours I drive, and that depends on where the deliveries are going. So I started to, pop a few orders in myself for cheap products, like in the $2 range, and for delivery to random houses in distant suburbs. And, with all the extra hours it adds on, I can almost afford to move out of my van and into my mum's place.
And what do you say to something like this, Prime Minister Scott Morrison? Is this in your line of economic strategies?
You will not find me criticising him.
And Elliot, you work at a cybersecurity firm. Tell us about what you're doing to ensure your employers are motivated to keep you on staff. Can you walk us through how you go about that, Elliot?
I hack the businesses we're made to protect, to make sure the business I work for has plenty of productive hours they can employ me for.
It is businesses that keep people in jobs.
Yeah, and the businesses we protect aren't all that interesting to Chinese hackers, unfortunately, so yeah, got to put all the extra effort in myself.
Absolutely, we got to do everything we can.
Well said. And Trina, so far we've talked about how Australians can keep the jobs they have, but your field of expertise is in creating jobs out of thin air. So what advice do you have for Aussies doing it tough on the job front right now?
Well, Holly, I've been playing fire with fire, and that's what all Aussies need to be doing right now. You see, air is just a big old empty space filled with oxygen, and nothing gets a bigger kick out of that than a burning flame.
That's a fact.
And what exactly do you mean by that, Trina?
Well, what I mean is, Holly, if you want a job in construction, you've got to burn a few buildings to the ground.
Oh, I didn't realise you were in construction.
Well, I'm not, Holly. That's what I'm saying. I'm in the arson business. I burn things to open up areas of thin air, and from that thin air, I create jobs in the construction industry.
They say capitalism creates fresh ideas in any market, I suppose. Is this what you envisioned your economic plan would produce?
This plan is about keeping Australians in jobs.
Well, if you funded community television properly, I could keep my job.
That's all good, thanks.
How do we maintain office morale and a sense of community during this time? Well, for the HR team at Price, Waste of Space Coopers, the answer is TikTok. Price, Waste of Space Coopers, and this just in, Mallie McSanus, President of the Australian Council of TikTok Unionists, has uploaded a response to their video. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to The Leak. 2020 has been devastated by a global pandemic never before seen to such an extent. It has affected every nation on earth, caused shockwaves through industries, and does not discriminate between gender, age, or race with whom it attacks. We, of course, are talking about Karens. Recent studies have shown that 10 out of 10 retail employees will experience a Karen in their workplace, and 7 out of 10 people over the age of 45 will have a public Karen outburst. To learn more, we are joined by accused Karen, Jane Baulch. Good evening, Jane.
It's pronounced ballet.
How?
Excuse me?
Nothing. Now, Jane, you recently went viral on multiple social media platforms after an incident at KFC. Can you please tell us what happened?
Yes, so my kids and I decided to go to KFC for dinner. It was Tuesday and I ordered my bucket of chicken wings, you know, the 9 for $9.95. And I get my bucket and I noticed there's barely any meat on the wings, all bone. And after eating them, I returned to the counter to complain and get a replacement bucket.
Wait, so you ate them all first?
Well, yes. Have you smelt KFC before? Jesus. Oh, so I returned to the counter and the young girl working there, who, by the way, oozed attitude, she said I'm not entitled to it because I had already eaten the bucket. I had no evidence. Well, the evidence was grumbling in my stomach, Holly. And, well, I'm a paying customer and I should be able to get full from one bucket of chicken wings. So I ripped her a new one, justifiably, and demanded to see the supervisor. And she had the nerve to tell me she was the on-duty supervisor, which I know is a lie. She goes to school with my daughter, so she couldn't possibly be the supervisor. And I don't like being lied to. And I was hangry, so I threw my thick shake in her face.
I don't even know where to begin with this.
And the next thing you know, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on ClipClop.
TikTok?
Don't rush me.
No, I wasn't. I was just trying to explain.
And anyway, she apparently has some sort of severe dietary allergy, severe dairy allergy, and ended up in hospital because of it. And, you know, these social media warriors immediately started a GoFund for her, and give me a break. Those suckers have already donated 25 grand to her. She'll be in a shock. She'll be in for a shock though.
She will?
Yes, I'm already talking to my solicitor and we are going to sue her for half of it, more if I can. I am entitled to it.
What on earth makes you think that?
Excuse me?
I just mean, on what grounds are you suing?
Public humiliation? The whole internet is laughing at me. Not the whole internet, the anti-vaxxer group that I'm in.
There it is.
Say I am the victim in this. I should have had meatier chicken wings. All of these idiotic millennials are making memes about me on Facebook and Clip-Clop.
TikTok.
Stop rushing me. I am the victim. I am entitled to be heard. So where am I in the program?
Excuse me?
You know, like, am I the major headline tonight's episode? Am I the big story?
Actually, you're just after the last ad break. About a segment or so before the end credits.
You're a funny one, Holly. But seriously, where am I in the program?
As I said, after the last ad break. About a segment or so before the end credits.
That is not good enough. I was expecting most of this episode to revolve around this story. You would send your best journalist to investigate KFC, or, I don't know, dig up some dirt on that little cow, maybe do a whole current affair kind of thing, confront her in the front yard. But to put me at the end, what's a slap in the face?
I'm sorry, Jane.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who my husband is? He wears a tie. A tie, Holly. My neighbourhood has at least 3 BMWs and a Tesla. I am a top bill interviewee. I need to be moved up to the top of this episode now.
I'm sorry, Jane. I don't make that call. It's the producer's decision.
Get them on here then. Now. This is bullshit.
It's not going to happen, Jane, and I'm going to warn you that this is community television, so there is no foul language.
Just get me your fucking producer!
That's it, Jane. I warned you about the language. I'm ending this interview.
I am ending your career.
Jane, I'm ending the interview.
You will regret the day that you put Jane Ballet as the second last segment.
It's Bull, and this is Bull. Goodbye, Jane.
Trump 2020!
Finally tonight, the federal government's JobKeeper program has come under intense criticism for excluding workers from sectors such as higher education and the arts. Less well known is how these exclusions have affected those who put their lives on the line every day, but don't draw an income from their great sacrifices. I am talking about, of course, superheroes. Joining us tonight is the heroic defender of Yarra City, the amazing Dynatron.
Thank you, Holly.
Can you tell our viewers why you've had to start charging for superhero services? Shouldn't a good deed be, as they say, its own reward?
I really wish that were true. The problem is that superheroes have whole other lives separate to the day-to-day of punching asteroids out of the path of Earth, battling swarms of robot drones from Dimension TK421, foiling the dastardly schemes of Mr. Malice, Adjunct Professor Anxiety, and the Periwinkle Menace, and so on. And in those lives...
You mean secret identities?
I prefer not to use that term, but okay. In those lives...
Secret identities?
We have to work regular jobs to deal with the same cost of living expenses as anybody else. Some of these jobs happen to be in sectors the government has effectively excluded from JobKeeper. I was employed in one of those fields, and work dried up thanks to the pandemic. Jobs are currently scarce, so I'm currently forced to charge fees for my services.
It's unfortunate indeed. In hindsight, it makes you wonder if superheroes should have been charging for their services in the first place. Then they may have qualified for JobKeeper.
Unless you have the powers of 2020 hindsight, such as the Ruminator, there's nothing to be gained from obsessing over what might have been. A crisis like this forces you to deal with the here and now.
Which means the Ruminator is probably struggling right now.
It's so sad. He just can't see any kind of future.
Is he friends with the prognosticator? Maybe she can help him out. How does this work? How do you charge for heroic feats?
It took lots of number crunching based on labour costs, OH&S risk, public liability insurance, potential property damage and so on. I also offer a generous discount for concession card holders.
Surely invoicing must be difficult. How do you keep track of payments, credit checks, debt collections and the like?
I had to train myself in all these areas using courses on LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, so you're on LinkedIn?
The Australian Taxation Office makes it very easy to set up an ABN, lodge BAS statements and...
Fool at his eye, your arch nemesis the doxer.
But you just revealed your secret identity on national television!
Don't you mean other life? And it's community television. No one will ever watch it and find out, Casey Cavendish.
But how did you find out?
You thought you had taken all the precautions, but take a look at your LinkedIn page. You added your ABN to your LinkedIn profile. From there, it was easy to figure it out.
No! How could I be so careless? I only wanted to add some professional sheen to my profile!
Instead, you added a professional sheen to your doom. That's all for this week's episode of The Leak. Tune in next week, if the world survives that long. Good night.